We've worked with people like Michelle up and down the country developing this manifesto, and the other person that we spoke with was Stuart Potts. Now Stuart says that he couldn't be here today and has to have someone speak on his behalf and read his speech because he's been refused entry to the conference because of his criminal record. And he asked the question, how can anyone rehabilitate and move on with their lives if their past is held against them, such as mine has been by not being granted permission to come and talk to you wonderful people here today. So that's the message from him, and what he eventually says as well is that my name is Stuart Potts. What we're facing today is not just a housing emergency, it's a complete housing failure. Since experiencing homelessness myself through a marriage breakdown, I found no support was given when presenting myself to local authorities as homeless, as I didn't meet their criteria. As far as I was aware, homelessness should be the only criteria needing in this instance. From here I tried every other service and charity available to me, but each time came away with less hope, and I was forced to live on the streets of Manchester. This is a very frightening experience for anyone, and each day that passes you get further away from any type of help, and are just left with trying to survive each day. Since then I now run an unfunded project called Saving People's Shelter in Manchester. Although people getting in touch with the project, we provide people around Manchester, we provide people in Manchester somewhere to sleep for the night, or advice on what facilities and services are available to them. I've seen how no-fault evictions can upend someone's life, including my own, by seeing myself and my partner being evicted from our home through no fault of our own, and just purely so the landlord could re-rent the property at double the rental cost. The council also struggled to support people in these situations. For example, if you're a single person without any additional needs and just needing a roof over your head, then they do very little to help. For instance, if you're a single person with no mental health, no substance misuse, then they can't refer you to other organisations or services because you're just homeless. And most of this is because they're massively underfunded, and because a lot of the money they do get is being wasted on temporary solutions that don't actually solve the problems. Temporary solutions are very short-sighted, and it's just a quick fix, not a long-term solution. I'm here today, obviously he's not, saying that I'm hopeful that more services become available and more social housing are built as a result of me being here today. We need to stop pumping endless amounts of money into temporary housing or accommodation and just come up with better long-term solutions, as this is costing the UK government millions of pounds every year, plus it's wasting endless amounts of resources when money could be better spent. Instead, we need to start investing into more social housing stock and also stop selling off our existing housing stock with the right to buy. If this continues, we have no social housing stock left within the UK, and all existing and new homes will then be in the hands of private investors, i.e. letting agents that can do and charge whatever price they want for the properties to actually get on the private. To get on the private housing sector in the first place, you need a month in advance of deposit, a reference and a working home guarantor, which is almost impossible for the average working person and completely impossible for someone on universal credit. And he finishes by saying that this is also the reason why the local housing allowance needs to be brought in line with local rents. Private renters need more security, and this is why the government should abolish Section 21 and start to reinvest more in social housing to keep up with the demand, invest into the people and create better communities, and you'll have a more productive society.